Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Lozy PC, and welcome back to War in the Pacific, the play-by-email game against Invictus. How are we all doing? I hope everyone is good. So we are carrying on with our steady progression through our opening kind of moves. We're over a month and a week in now. We do have a couple of areas we need to kind of focus on trying to secure. Some areas in the Dutch East Indies, for example. You know, kind of the rest of Borneo if we can help it. And also start looking to push towards Burma once we have dealt with Malaya. But we will have to see how that one goes. The USS Pickerel is causing us a little bit of, problems-ish in the LOC, over by Port Arthur, etc. So we will keep an eye on that, but so far seems to be fine. Air night strikes, we should have a couple going. We will see how they get on. We got some bad weather, which we did kind of mention last time might be happening. We might have some bad weather over Singapore, etc. So therefore might not be seeing too many raids or air raids going from there. We do have some Betty bombers hitting Koh Kong, damaging the airfield, but not seemingly damaging any aircraft flying over Koh Kong, which is intriguing. Some more Bettys as well. So maybe the Flying Tigers aren't in Koh Kong. Again, we will see. Obviously, we're trying to think about where we're finding them. We know that they are still in there somewhere, but we want to see exactly where they are, so we can make sure that we can actually deal with them the best we can. So that's something that is significant. In other news on the channel, there will be some recording coming up probably next week-ish, which will be Ruler Waves 3, probably at the end of next week. We put that to vote, and it seems that people have wanted that. Now, the next thing is obviously to decide on which nation we'll play, but we will decide that closer to the time. We'll see how things go. So apologies for the slightly muted sound there. We are doing live recording because that is, what people have said they think is better, just generally. But I happen to be sneezing a little bit. I would like to mute that sound when I'm sneezing if I can, because it's not the particularly nicest thing to hear on audio. So, as I was saying, our Lily bombers not doing great amount of damage in in Malaya. Doing okay in China, but yeah, Malaya not doing super well. And some interesting attacks there from the kind of Dutch bombers over where we are going to be loading up the 4th Infantry Division, or sorry, not 4th Infantry Division, 4th Infantry Regiment. Its various brigades. So yeah, we'll see. And obviously here we can see all the bad weather kind of causing the effect for the afternoon flights. So not too much flying going on. So this might be a bit of a shorter turn, which is always a bit of a blessing at times. And yeah, there we go. There's our aircraft landing. So yeah, not too bad. AK Tosin Maru sinks. That's not good. I thought that she would be okay, but clearly not. Deliberate attack in Chengshou, and we managed to capture it. This is huge news for us. We also managed to get something to surrender as well. A few things have retreated, but yeah, this is huge. 400 casualties, 8,000 Chinese casualties. Really, really big for us. And yeah, that is kind of what we wanted to do. It is the beginning of our assault going forward, and we look like we're struggling at Tarakan. we might need to send some more troops there to help them out. At Tier 1, just more bombardment attack, kind of just keeping pressure up, and that is our ground combat as well. So, pretty good. A lot of airfields here expanding to size 2, so we'll make sure that we kind of stop those. Is the gunfire looping? No, there we go. I thought it was looping over and over. Luckily it's not, so that's fine. So, again, apologies for the sounds and the sniffles. Lots of sneezing. Now, this is a bit of a problem. Losing a few victory points from garrisons. So we'll get an eye on that in a moment. We've got another sub-chaser, which is pretty good. Another raiding unit arriving at Kagoshima. But let us now deal with a couple of these airfields. So Tamayama, we don't need that to expand. We had another one at Matsue, which we also don't need to expand. There was another one further in. It's down here somewhere. Shimazu? Well, yeah, we don't really need that. Masan, we don't need either. And then I think there was one here. Chefu is fine. And then Tier 1 also expanded, which we will stop expanding for the time being. Again, not super needed. Now, we've got a couple of mixed brigades here that we will use to kind of help support Tier 1 and get those units clear. Let's have a quick look at where the garrison issues are. So, we need, at Socho, we need another 100, well, another 60 odd garrison. At Shanghai, we could possibly get some, but we need to be careful here. Because as you can see, we've only got 130 to play around with. Let us move maybe a couple of these route brigades to Suzhou and see how that goes. Because they are going to provide a bit of assault value and kind of help boost. And there's also the tax police regiment, which weirdly has a really high assault value. So we'll move those, see how we get on, and see how that goes. Hangzhou also needs quite a bit too, which obviously not ideal. Nanshan seems to have quite a bit, so maybe what we can do is we can send one of these brigades over to Hangzhou. We'll get it to move, go into move order, and that should be fine. Okay, so that's fine there. And then the others, I think, was... where were the other spots? Wushu and Manila. Now, Manila shouldn't be too much of a problem. Obviously, the big thing with Manila at the moment is we are offloading troops, etc. Now, how are we doing? We still have a lot of parts of the 38th. Well, they're actually, really, it's not that much left on the 38th that is there. There's still generally a lot of units or a lot of troops still stuck on this task force. But yeah, most of them are kind of getting off. So hopefully in the next few, next day or so, we'll be able to really kind of push here. Now, if we go back to this, obviously we're saying that the Allies have 113,000 troops. If we now go to the battlefield, we can see that we've got 22,000 infantry and 24,000 second line troops. So Invictus is probably going to be seeing that roughly around 50,000. So what I'm going to do here is we are going to go back to bombard for a few days just to see how things go. Obviously, something we do need to be a little bit careful with is we can see that the supplies is a little bit of a nightmare. Now, something else we can see is that the port at Manila has been absolutely wrecked. by the allies as they've been leaving. So we do have some engineers here, although these are an independent engineer regiment. We should have some construction units somewhere. We've got 56th up here. So what we're going to do is we are going to move these to Manila. It will take a little while, but they're going to go to help make sure that that gets all built up and is able for us to use. Everything else seems to be generally okay in the Philippines. Now, Tarakan is a bit of an issue. As we mentioned before, we need to get a few more troops up there. Our Sasebo SNLF seems to have kind of lost its impetus, which isn't great. It's not necessarily something we want. Now, something else we are dealing with is the fact that there are some, what do we call it? Some bombers flying over Kuching. So we're going to set the Tojos to have drop tanks so that they can cover Kuching. We do have these lilies, standard radius of 9. Doesn't really help them that much. This is the problem. They're a little bit everything's a little bit out of the way. I don't really want to use them too much, but what I'm just going to wonder is there is some units out there that are clear. We could also maybe use these just to help with Tarakan. So let's go to ground attack. Select destination. Target range is too far. Oh. I'm imagining because there's no... Okay, I don't know why that says that, but we'll see. How else are we doing? Let's have a look. We should have somewhere, something we can maybe move. Something like a, what you call it? I'm trying to think if we've got a couple of naval guard units up here, and I'm wondering if sending one of those to Tarakan is going to be useful, or maybe both, just for the time being. Send them both there, and then we can send one back later. Down to where we need it. There is 2 SNLF troops there, although again we can see that actually they're not great, and really they're not prepared for this. They should be prepared for Tarakan. So let us do that. Let us send a couple of naval guard units from Tokyo down there. It's a bit far, arguably, but the other situation is moving the units around Balikpapan, which, again, we don't really have units at Balikpapan at the moment. Could maybe move stuff from Mandano or Tiernet. That could also be an option. Might be a slightly better option as well, come to think of it. So, manage ships under repair. These are just not getting repaired, are they? So, let us take them. This is the problem. We had them there thinking that they would get repaired, but I think the big issue is because we don't have any any naval support there, then they're just going to disappear, which is really worrying, because obviously being that is a AKT, something that has already been set to move units, we'd obviously like that to be free. Now, other things in regards to AKTs, we should have a few hanging about somewhere, because we were setting stuff up to carry troops. Now then, where are they? They should be done by now. There's an AP there, but it's not very big, so I'm not going to worry about that. Where else are they? I might have to go this way. So, active ships, AKs, types. So, let's go into type like this, and... Oh, great. They just kind of put them all together. That's not useful. Samar has most. There's one at... Wait, no. Oh. There's one over there in Moy. No, I thought I had a load that I told to get ready in Japan, but by the looks of it, most of them are elsewhere. Someone tells me I've messed this up a little bit here. Okay. It's not good. And then when I click on something, I'm going to miss it anyway. Right, because the reason why is when we looked here at our transports, so transport, troops, transfer ships to and from, obviously we want to make sure that we can carry plenty of troops. You know, we've got thingies here that we want to move, and a division that we want to move, so I'm wondering where those are. There's one there that I think maybe is being repaired, but it's not going to turn into an AKT. This is extremely strange. I don't know where they've all gone. I swear I had a load of them that I was going to use. Am I just completely and utterly daft? Have I lost the plot? I mean, that's very possible that I've lost the plot, but like, have I seriously lost the plot here? I think so. I think that's what's happened here. Okay, never mind. Now, something that we should have somewhere, even if we don't have AKTs, we should have a load of AKEs around. There's also an AP in there, but it's not very big. We should have a load of AKEs. Now, AKEs, if you are wondering what they are, these are the ships that will be carrying, you know, ammunition is the word I was looking for. You know, ammunition around and providing support for some of our larger ships, particularly, you know, when we think about ships that will be doing our combat in places like Rabaul and things like that. So we're going to want to make sure that we've got those heading down to key areas. Now then, let's go to ships. Again, let's go to auxiliary. Hiroshima has one. Let's go to type, and we can see these a little bit easier. Again, I swear I set more of these than this. It doesn't seem right. I just think I'm going massively insane, you know. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So we've got a couple that are happening over here. Okay, that's fine. So let us. It was Hiroshima has one, which is here. So they've also got battleships there as well. So what we can do is if we form an UTF and do support, That'll allow us to move the AKE. There's also an AR there as well, which would be useful to move. And let us take the destroyers with it. That seems fine. And then what we'll do is transfer ships. No, we won't. We've got a different way of doing it. So these guys set to... What am I doing here? I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. See, this is what happens when you get sneezy and horrible. It makes you forget what you're doing. Let us send these down to Rabul. Okay. And at the same time, let us go into this. There is the Taiho, which was on air transport. Intriguing. There's no air stuff for it to take, but let us go to this one that's on surface combat. Transfer ships to and from. Let us move our battleships down. Again, set home port. Now, this is obviously why we need to make sure that Rabul is protected. So that, shit doesn't go wrong there. And we also have we've got a couple of light carriers here as well. We've got the Hosho, which is pretty much ready to go, and the Zihu as well. So let us then also go air combat, and get these two guys. And I think the best way to do this is set TF routing, meet task force, meet the surface combat, and then merge with it. Incompatible ships. Tell you what will be easier, transfer ships to and from. Task force 17. There we go. And then TF routing, meet task force, meet support task force, and then just follow it. And then that way they can just kind of head down, and it gives us an extra, extra firepower and projection in the north. Now then, how is our amphibious ships ready to go for Amlabang? They are loading up supplies. I think that they are ready to go. Let's do it. We can't seemingly see any mines. We can see that there's PT boats. There's some fighters there, but generally I think everything there is totally fine. Where is the Kaga and the Kagi? There they are. How are these looking in regards to their aircraft? They're looking pretty good. So what we're going to do is let us send them kind of via... They've gone via Camera Bay. Let's send them to Xinquan Yang. And with their aircraft, which... How are they doing? Quickly before we do anything else. Aircraft... not that one. Planes. Generally look okay. They probably can carry on doing what they need to do, and then when they go, then that's fine. They've got escort, that's not a problem. So for the Vals, they are on naval attack. Let's set them to port attack and set them to Pamlabang. They are currently out of range, but it's not a problem because they will, get to that point when we need them to. So that's totally fine. So they are going to attack Pamlabang, so that those guys can, think whatever's in there, and, if there's nothing interesting, then they've got other things that they can attack. The only problem I am worried about with this fleet is it doesn't have much cover in regards to scout planes, but there is some good news. Wait, not those ones. There's good news that we've got the Congo and the Haruna here, which, despite not having a lot of ammo, do have scout planes, which actually fly pretty far. This is something that I really like about the Japanese float planes is that the Japanese float planes do have a decent amount of range. Now, we're currently flying A13, A1 Jakes, which can fly up to 8. It wants to upgrade into Pete's. I don't know why. Pete's are fucking terrible. They do not have the range that the Jakes do. So that is what we're going to stick with. The only one is there a better one? I'm not sure if there is. Yeah, the norms, but they aren't for a while. They can see much further, which obviously is really, really significant. 12 tiles or 12 hexes for scouting is pretty fucking legit. So we'll make sure that they are kind of supporting, mostly for their scouting, really, and it allows the the Kates and the Vals of the Akagi and Kaga to really focus on what they're doing. It means they're not blind, which obviously is a huge worry that we have to kind of, make sure that we don't allow, so to speak. Now then, in regards to that AKE, we're moving that down to Rabaul. We've got a couple more that are coming soon. Although there is a couple of AKEs in Nagasaki. Are these ones that are under repair? That one's under repair. Never mind. I'm losing my mind. Okay. Ground combat. We are going to take not a lot of time before moving from Shengshou. We need to capitalize on our offensive. So let us move basically the entire 6th Army north to Luoyang, and that opens up that part as well. So I'm going to select all to follow, set future objectives, and let's also set this to Luoyang. Set all. Wait, Luoyang. There we go. Let's set all. So these are all now going to move to Luoyang, all 18,000 troops. We do have the... Which army is this? I think it's his 13th army. Yep. On its way as well. It's taking its time, but that's fine. These guys are more focused towards Nanyang anyway. We got a random mixed brigade here, which has got enough assault strength to provide the garrison for Nanyang, which is fantastic. Has Nanyang got enough garrison? Yep, perfect, brilliant. And obviously we do have the 110th Division here and the 16th Mixed Brigade, which can cross to Luoyang eventually. So, our offensive in northern China is going swimmingly, and it's what we like to see. Elsewhere, something we didn't do last time, and luckily we kind of got away with it, is the Nels. We didn't tell them to stop. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna take the risk on that. Anything not moving in Malaya that needs to be doesn't look like it. I think everything that needs to be moving is moving, unless they are at a port or I don't need to expand that airfield anymore. Okay, that actually is something that's pretty significant, because what that means is the 15th Air Force Base is going to strap move to Kota Baru, okay, along with the 82nd Japanese Army Air Force. I can't go that one. Whoops. And these guys will... They've currently got Babs and Sallies, etc. These guys can be then useful for attacking forward. There's going to be 54 Sallies, as well as a load of recon aircraft that we can use to make sure Sumatra is really covered. It also gives us a little bit more cover over to the south. Now, obviously, something that we need to be making sure is that we've got aircraft kind of ready to go and, to cover Singapore. We do have some Oscars, which is great. We do have a load of Nates here as well. Now, the problem with those is we don't have the reinforcements really for them just yet, which is a bit of a problem. Now, we can get them to use drop tanks, which gives them 8 So if we move them up to Kotobaro when we move a load of stuff up, then they can also provide escort duty, which is better than nothing, I suppose, you know, especially if we know that there's loads of buffaloes down there. Again, it's better than nothing at all. We are also building up the airfield in northern Thailand to help support the attack on Rangoon. So far, everything there is going pretty nicely. We also have some tankers moving to Miri, because I'm going bold and I'm starting to move stuff as quickly as we can, because we need to. We can't fuck around and we can't wait. So we're going to make sure that that's happening. We're also pushing towards Brunei as well, just to really make sure that we are keeping Borneo under wraps. But that seems to be everything so far as we want it. Let's get these guys just to take that. Gasmata, they got their supplies, which is pretty good. We will get them out of there pretty soon and probably land them immediately on Lunga. You know, that's going to be their kind of target, let's be honest. And what have we got offloading here? Just some supplies for caving, and some Mavises, which need some more maintenance, but they should be fine soon. And we've also got Mavises and Zeros here too. So yeah, everything's going pretty swimmingly so far. So I'm pretty happy with that. We also do have the Keto Butai that's going to be moving quite close to Rabul as well, just to keep an eye on things. The only other thing that I need to make sure that we start doing with Rabul soon is making sure that we start moving some fuel there. We've got plenty of fuel at truck, so we should be making sure that we move it as well. But yeah, everything else is going great. So, pretty good turn for us so far. So, until next time, everybody, have a very, very good day. See you soon. Bye.